Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another book review. Now, as you probably are aware, I absolutely love Michael Scott's saga of The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flammel. There are 6 books within the series, and the Warlock is, of course, the 5th book, and within this particular part of the series, Sophie and Josh are separated from one another, and both of them have different elemental abilities. And of course, we learn about Aunt Agnes, or whom Sophie calls Aunt Agnes. She's actually, minor spoiler alert, known as Tezcagal, she who watches. And Mars Ultor is awakened from his slumber. You've got different characters that are involved within this part of the story as well. You've got Prometheus, you've got Nicholas, of course, Nicholas Flamel, Pericles, Virginia Dare, Billy the Kid, William Shakespeare. Let's see, there's Sacatch from the very beginning. She's known as the Shadow. She's actually a vampiress, and quite the huntress too. She's more impulsive than her sister Aoife. Unfortunately, in this particular book, it's very sad. Sacatch doesn't know whether Aoife is still alive or not, whether she's in the Shadow Realms, or if she's alive or dead. It's really not mentioned until later, and I won't tell you what happens. Of course, we have Niccolo Machiavelli, he was also mentioned as an alchemist, and I got a whole little book on alchemists that have existed, and many of them have had mysterious disappearances, which is intriguing. And one of the things I really like about this is it combines mythology and fantasy, just interlocks them so absolutely beautifully, and only the way that Michael Scott could do it in his very picturesque language. And he also talks about Vimanas, which are mentioned in the Mahabharata, and he talks about that on the very final pages. And actually, that's a Sanskrit poem, and it talks about this. And it has a description of a Vimana that was 12 cubits in circumference with 4 strong wheels. And then he explains what a cubit is, which is also very interesting to know, which is a unit of measurement from the tip of the elbow to tip of the elbow to tip of the middle finger. That's a cubit. The most famous Vimana in Indian lore is the Pushpaka Vimana, the flying chariot of the god Kubera. It was described as looking like a bright cloud. It also speaks of the Ramayana and how there were many variations of the 4 basic types of Vimana: Rukma, Sandara, Tripura, and Sakuna. And descriptions of the craft may differ. And it keeps going on. And it talks about the whole idea of flight, which I thought was really intriguing. And it's got a lot of good history if you're interested in the history of flight. And then, of course, the very first chapter to the Enchantress, which I will be reading fairly soon. It's on my Nook. But as far as books are concerned, I just eat Michael Scott's work up. He is a very descriptive, poetic writer, and he weaves such a epic, intriguing, gripping tale with all these different mythological and actual historical characters like Virginia Dare and John Dee, and it's just absolutely incredible. Excuse me. It really is splendid writing, and it took me all of 2 days to finish this book, and it probably should have only taken me one, because honestly, a 376 page book only takes me a day to read when I really get into it. And Michael Scott's work, it's one of the many things that I just delve into head first, and I get so focused on reading what will happen next to the characters, and I'm wondering what will happen at the end. I can't go into much detail to what actually occurs, particularly with Mars Ulthor and Pernelle and the different characters that are involved here, because there is quite a bit going on, and it's very multi-layered, and if you haven't been reading it from the very beginning, you probably will get quite a bit lost and think, what's going on here? But it really is just splendiferous in every sense of the word, and I absolutely love it. I just think it is a spectacular, enchanting series that just keeps you guessing, and it's just rollicking. Such an adventurous fantasy book mixed in with a little history in it. That, I think, is what really ties it all together and makes it so remarkable. And out of the many fantasy books I've read, he, along with Brandon Mull and Rick Riordan, they're my favorite fantasy authors at this point in time. I know the books are marketed toward children, but it doesn't matter, because they're just so beautifully written and truly, truly wondrous in their depictions of these characters. And Nicholas, Flammel, and Pernelle have become two of my favorite characters in the entire series, although they've had to face some consequences through their actions in this particular volume of the series, and it's a little bit challenging to read those trials and tribulations that they go through, and you really feel for Sophie and Josh, and especially for Josh and his decisions that he makes, and just the whole prophecy that is coming to pass in this. And it actually helped me finish a story I was writing called Seer's Eye, and I will be posting that fairly soon. I'm only working on one story at a time now, so the next one that I will be doing is Talia Goes to Tokyo, which is one that my friend Thriller Terrain, actually, he gave me the idea for it, so it's his baby, and hopefully I will nourish that baby and help it grow to be absolutely gorgeous once it has accomplished its purpose. And there's actually something very intriguing that I found in the book. They talk about ki, and there's a really beautiful exchange between Pernelle and Sophie. Actually, it's She Who Watches and Agnes, excuse me, and Agnes and Sophie. And she talks about how imagination is the most important element in the entire world, and magic is usually an overused cliche, and it's imagination that gives all these things purpose and meaning and movement and ability to function, because without imagination everything would be inert, because you have to have some kind of life force, and imagination would be the life force that these magicians can put in, or alchemists, or enchantresses, or whatever they are, elders, how they can make their magics work. And that's what I find the most intriguing. I thought that's absolutely true, because you could do, the mind is just a miraculous element in and of itself. I know I've said that before, I'm probably repeating myself, but it is a thing all unto itself that creates and makes, and it can do anything. The potentiality is unlimited, and that's the thing with this book, that they really illustrate that well with the elemental magics and all that. And the key in and of itself is the essence of the thing. And I thought, yeah, it means spirit. So I thought, this is true, and it's more accepted now, because the ancient ways are becoming more accessible to us, and we're becoming more open to it, which I think is just a lifting of the veil. So as far as series are concerned, I give it 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, and I promise you I will read The Enchantress and I will do a review of it, because I really want to know how the series ends, and I will let you know. I won't give you away. I will keep my lips sealed about any spoilers, so you don't have to worry about me ruining anything for you. So if you've read the first 4 books in the series, then by all means pick up the Warlock, because the books just improve as they continue in the series. Seriously, they really do. He just amps it up a little bit more, and makes it even more complicated with the different characters as they become more intertwined, and try to figure out, who can I really trust? Is this person who they say they are? Are they what they say they are? And that kind of dynamic. So it's very, very, very intriguing, and definitely a fascinating stellar read.